Who are these people?
Who are these people? Fuck everybody. Sorry, not you, everyone watching, but fuck Restream or fuck my computer and so frustrated, man. It's the worst. Sorry for the crash. I don't even know if we're live on Rumble. I don't even care, honestly. Like, He's just in a mood. They just. I'm not putting chats up. Like, I'm done. All right. I want to finish my fucking story and get out of here and just go to boats. All right. But now I got to go back and I got to do the rest. We're just going to stitch it together. I hope you're watching. I don't give a shit. All right. In response to the expulsions on February 26th, the Collective Defense Working Group lit a set-in at Barnard's dean's office, we know with nearly 100 students. And the fucking deans called the fucking New York fucking cops, the fucking pigs. Okay? After the multi-hour standoff, Barnard President Laura Rosenberry and Barnard Vice President and Dean Leslie Greenidge agreed to negotiate with students regarding the expulsions based on certain conditions. But of course, we know that they're lying scumbags, so two faculty intermediaries emailed the student negotiators shortly before the agreed meeting time, saying the student negotiators would now need to be unmasked during the meeting and they couldn't audio record the meeting, going back on terms that had been previously agreed upon. Why wouldn't you want the meeting recorded? Maybe you're about to say something that you don't want to be held accountable to? Or maybe you're about to say something that insults the fuck out of the people that are there? The university had agreed that those students were to be registered and enrolled students at Barnard and that they were to be masked in the negotiations. But of course, nothing means anything anymore. So they decided to change the deal like they're Darth fucking Vader. We made that stipulation not only because masking of the students is obviously necessary for their safety in terms of being identifiable and therefore reprisable by the university, because they've doxed the shit out of these people. They've used facial recognition to destroy their lives, try to get people fired, deported, and worse for protesting a fucking genocide. These reprehensible fucking people, which has been demonstrated to be unfair in their ability to reprise and willingness to reprise. But also it was for the safety of the immunocompromised. So obviously, Columbia and Barnard presidents want their pro-Palestinian students to literally die from disease. They'd rather them die than show up wearing a mask. Let's just repeat that. The University of Barnard College's president wants students to die for not wearing a mask. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. Take me off the phone. Take me off the air. The university reneged on those responsibilities in the terms that they'd set and prevented negotiations from the beginning. On March 5th, Columbia students resumed the sit-in at Milstein Center Library, reclaimed as the Dr. Hussam Abu Safia Liberated Zone. Except that he's not liberated, but it's nice that they named that after him. In a statement posted online, they said they were left with no choice but to resume the sit-in because Barnard has shown that they'll sabotage negotiations unless we hold them accountable, and then they'll just send the pigs in. A third expulsion came the same day. We reported on that the U.S. Department of Justice issued a press release announcing that the federal task force to combat anti-Semitism bullshit would be visiting 10 university campuses that have allegedly experienced anti-Semitic incidents since October 2023, including Columbia University. How about interviewing the Jewish students that were part of the encampments? No, they don't count. No. They can't interview those. They feel safe, so they don't count. According to the press release by CUAD, Columbia was privately informed of the task force's impending visit a day before the Barnard expelled student, a day before they expelled a third student. So rather than engage with students or divest, Barnard has just rushed to satisfy the DOJ by sanctioning and expelling students, bending the knee. They're all in cahoots, and they're all being ordered by Israel. And we have the proof. We have the receipts. We know the WhatsApp threads. The letter writing campaign is still ongoing. That's useless. The phone zap campaign is still ongoing. That's not going to work. We're still participating very actively in the general structure that the university set up for appealing these expulsions. Great, that's not going to go anywhere. We always work through every avenue possible in order to support our comrades, so we're going to continue to do that. Well, that's nice, but fuck these motherfuckers. Fuck Barnard University, fuck Columbia University, fuck Mayor Eric Adams, fuck Israel, fuck Donald Trump, fuck Marco Rubio, fuck the Justice Department, fuck them all. And fuck my computer for crashing. Damn it. All right. So, that was the last story that I had in the another fuck Israel portion, because we know that, of course, Israel steers everything in this country. Like it, don't like it. That's the fact, Jack. You can call me whatever the fuck you want to call me for it, but that's what's going on. They're controlling everything these days. Like it, don't like it. Call me whatever the fuck you want. All right. We're definitely not getting monetized for the amount of fucks that I just said there. So we definitely need some support if you are inclined and you like what you just saw there, because we're going to cover Barnard from an angle that nobody else really is going to on a show, except a couple of people. We could use it over at Cash App, co-fi.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network. And apparently now I'm going to have to take my computer in for another diagnostic because Micro Center sucks and couldn't figure it out last time. So I got a few more things I wanted to go through. Syria. What the fuck is going on in Syria? I'm not covering that tonight, but I did want to point out that there's a reminder. The USA and Britain said Assad had to go, then funded and armed this terrorist group, HTS, to do their dirty work and cause the country to descend into lawlessness, just like Libya. This is on the USA, this is on the UK, this is on Israel, which they're proud of, apparently. I cannot show a lot of the videos. They are like literal murders on camera. And the Syrian HTS terrorists are proudly showing that. And they are massacring Alawite Syrians. And I don't understand the dynamic there, but the corporate media is claiming that it's pro-Assad. There are no more pro-Assad people left. There's a new regime now, so it's either you're part of them or you're not. And they're killing anyone that's not part of them. It's terrible. So that's what's happening in Syria. We may cover that next week. Follow Eva Bartlett. Follow Vanessa Beeley. Follow Fiorella Isabel. Follow Dave DeCamp at Antiwar.com. Follow Antiwar News. Follow Marwa Osman. And you will find out what's happening. And you'll see some horrifying footage, I will warn you, especially on their Telegram channels. But it's important. And we can't ignore what we did and what we are actively doing right now and still allowing to happen. Now, I brought an article from Indie Media Award honoree Left Voice earlier. Here's another one that I want people to read. And we've brought articles from James Dennis Hoff about UAW before and about unions. He's very pie in the sky, but he calls this one out rightly. Why is Shawn Fain and the UAW leadership supporting Trump's trade policies for tariffs? You think the protectionism for the automakers is going to help you, UAW? Fuck no. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. But then again, Shawn Fain, a dumb motherfucker. That is a dumb face right there. I am done playing nice with this asshole. He's ignored me. I've been calling his ass out since before that bullshit stand-up strike that everybody thought he was so great for. Fuck this guy too. And fuck Sean O'Brien over at the Teamsters. Yes, NAFTA was a disaster, and tariffs don't work like that. Stupid. All they're going to do is raise the price on American workers and American car buyers. And force Chinese cars out of this market because there's 100% tariff on them, maybe. But that's not going to allow people to buy more American cars because the price is still too fucking expensive. Dumbass. Yeah, let's not allow cheap cars that could possibly have the automakers competing, but give them a protectionism that gives them a $10,000 a vehicle jack on all of us. Fuck off, Shawn Fain. Next. Consortium News, our friends and Indie Media Award honorees. Got this article from Joe Lauria over here, and this is a very quick one. We covered about a year and a half ago, they sued NewsGuard, which is like a nanny NGO that's set up to censor and identify organizations and score organizations based upon their quote-unquote accuracy or whatever. And what we reported was that there were 4 articles, I believe, or maybe even as many as 10, going back 30 years that NewsGuard flagged on Consortium News as questionable, mostly having to deal with Russia and Ukraine. But that caused the entire Consortium News website to be red flagged and blocked and smeared across all of corporate media and not to be used because they're shown as a risky outlet, according to NewsGuard. There's nothing risky about Consortium News. They are an Indie Media Award-winning outlet. They are an award-winning outlet, not just us, but elsewhere too. Okay? So a judge orders the defendants, NewsGuard, in the CN and NewsGuard case to respond to Trump executive order on censorship. An executive order signed by President Trump on Inauguration Day has figured in Consortium News' lawsuit against the U.S. federal government and NewsGuard Technologies, Inc., that alleges defamation and a violation of the First Amendment. Judge Catherine Polk-Failla of the Southern District of New York has ordered the government and the defendant to respond in writing by Thursday, addressing the impact of the January 20th, 2025 executive order titled Restoring Freedom of Speech and Ending Federal Censorship on the pending motion to dismiss the second amended complaint. Both the government and NewsGuard have moved to have the case against them dismissed. How convenient. Consortium News filed suit against both in August of 2023 with an amended complaint in October, charging the Pentagon's Cyber Command, an element of the intelligence community, with contracting with NewsGuard to identify, report, and abridge the speech of American media organizations that dissent from U.S. official positions on national foreign policy, international policy. In the course of its contract with the Pentagon, NewsGuard is acting jointly or in concert with the United States to coerce news organizations to alter viewpoints as to Ukraine, Russia, and Syria, imposing a form of censorship and repression of views that differ or dissent from policies of the U.S. and its allies, the complaint says. Now, the executive order reads that the First Amendment enshrines the right of the American people to speak freely in the public square without government interference. Over the last 4 years, the previous administration trampled free speech rights by censoring American speech on online platforms, often by exerting substantial coercive pressure on third parties, such as social media companies, to moderate, deplatform, or otherwise suppress speech the federal government didn't approve. Under the guise of combating quote-unquote misinformation or disinformation and malinformation, thank you, Nina fucking Jankowicz, cunt, the federal government infringed on the constitutionally protected speech rights of American citizens across the United States in a manner that advanced the government's preferred narrative about significant matters of public debate, like COVID, too. Government censorship speech is intolerable in a free society. Intolerable. Tell that to the pro-Palestine protesters. All right. The executive order sets out to secure the right of the American people to engage in constitutionally protected speech, which this is. Now, what they're going to do is try to deem anybody that supports anything that isn't that as terrorists. Syria too. Now, if you call out that HTS are actual terrorists, now that they're on our side, now you're the terrorist. The executive order also sets out to ensure that no federal government officer, employee, or agent engages in or facilitates any conduct that would unconstitutionally abridge the free speech of any American citizen. Well, certainly that happened to Consortium News and the people who want to read their stories. It also is supposed to ensure that no taxpayer resources are used to engage in or facilitate any conduct that would unconstitutionally abridge the free speech of any American citizen. Well, using the military and money from the military to pay NewsGuard certainly falls under that. And finally, it wants to identify and take appropriate action to correct past misconduct by the federal government related to censorship and protected speech. Exactly what happened here. Significantly, the EO says the Attorney General, in consultation with the heads of the executive departments and agencies, shall investigate the activities of the federal government over the last 4 years that are inconsistent with the purposes and policies of this order, quote unquote. The period in Consortium News' lawsuit falls within these 4 years. In a letter to Judge Polk Faia regarding the executive order, their attorney wrote a whole thing. All right, then they give you background on the case. NewsGuard's labeling of Consortium News as publishing false content is challenged in detail in the substantial complaint. And you've got to read that. Again, we stand by Consortium News. NewsGuard has been proven to be wrong multiple times, and they are a nanny state that is directly working for the Defense Department. And they certainly have a bias against anything that is challenging the U.S. State Department narrative. So, fuck NewsGuard. And hopefully this lawsuit doesn't get dismissed. But it sounds like the executive order solidifies in multiple ways why they should absolutely be held liable, why NewsGuard should be held liable, as should the federal government. By the way, I believe that they're suing for $10 million, which isn't even enough.
Right.
Next. I'm not going to go through this one, but I wanted people to read it because at Wells Fargo, I saw firsthand how excessive CEO pay harms workers and customers. And this was written by somebody who was actually working for Wells Fargo at the time that they had their fake accounts scandal in 2016. All right. And apparently something like that is happening again, where they're being incentivized to do unseemly, untoward stuff. And again, it harms both workers and customers. So read that one. I got a couple others. Number one, unionized postal workers brace for Trump administration's assault. So we talked about the postal workers a couple of weeks ago. I had somebody in my on Twitter come at me and be like, Labor Notes is lying. This isn't really what's happening. I'm going to get like an 8 or 9% increase. Maybe if you add up 1.3% over the life of the agreement, maybe. And I don't know. But bottom line is that they're worried that they could end up disbanding the Postal Workers Union entirely and roll them into the federal government employees pool. They're just treated like every other regular federal employee at that point, even though they technically, rain, sleet, or snow, and they have a constitutional mandate and a carve out different from anybody else. Yeah. So there's that. And then there was this. Dangerous union busting. Trump rescinds collective bargaining for the air safety union. So the TSA workers, and this is a Brett Wilkins at Common Dreams and other Indie Media Award honoree. All right. This is DHS claimed in a statement that collective bargaining for the TSA security officers constrained the agency's chief mission of protecting transportation systems and keeping travelers safe. What? And that eliminating collective bargaining removes bureaucratic hurdles that'll strengthen workforce agility, enhance productivity and resiliency, while also jumpstarting innovation. Bullshit. It's getting rid of the workers' ability to collectively bargain with their job. That's what it's doing. Okay. So that's a pretty important article that you need to read from Common Dreams. Then I found this really weird story in FreightWaves. Pentagon wants to buy 10 cargo ships to bolster its aging logistics fleet. So,
okay. Yeah.
they get
Merchant
a
Marine.
trillion, but wait a minute, they get a fucking $1 trillion a year and they got to buy used cargo ships. All right. They want to buy 10 used cargo ships because the average age of the roll-on, roll-off ships, and they have 46 of them, is 47 years old. What the fuck have they been doing with all the money that we're giving them? They can't buy new
building
ships.
hammers.
They can't buy new ships.
Yeah.
How about no? 14 ships are 50 years old or older. So they haven't built new ships. And some are steam powered. What are we doing here, people? Retire the fleet. First of all, we've already reported from Kit Clarenberg that our fleet is dead in the water as it is. Answer Allah. It has now been deemed a terrorist group because our fleet was getting so badly crushed by them every time they went near Yemen. We did this thing. China, they war gamed out the sea, the South China Seas and the Taiwan Strait, and putting an aircraft carrier group in there. And within 20 days, the entire carrier group was sunk. They're dead in the water. They move slowly. They can be an excessive show of force. They can be a floating hospital or a floating city. But they're also giant targets that can't move quickly and can't evade drones. So, read this article from FreightWaves. It's fascinating. Then you have the conversation that I had with Golden Monarch. Finally, we were able to have, last time we did this, I messed up and I turned off his audio for some reason. So that kind of was a loss, but we went through a good hour and a half talking about Bitcoin and crypto and Ponzi, and is it a scam, and some of the people who were involved and the money that they're making and the inroads that they're making and why they're doing it and what the overall motivation is here, which is to control the future of the digital money supply and digital IDs and CBDCs, and have all the experience and control all the gates. And by the way, make all the fees. Yeah, that too. All right. So there's that. And then also I was on Hard Lens on Thursday night on a special Thursday night episode with Kit. I really appreciate him inviting us and having me on, talk about Rockfin and the article that I wrote about all the stuff that's been happening with Rockfin. They have continued to deplatform creators. I have not heard of any others that have been zeroed out, and I haven't heard of them paying out or converting anybody's Ray tokens into anything else yet. I was told that they were offering and negotiating, and that was the last I heard from anybody. I don't know if anyone's going to tell me that they got paid out. It would be nice if they did. If you did, please tell me. And of course, we've got INN newsletter, which we put out daily. We've got the daily summary as well as the weekly update that has all the live streams, all the clips, and all the articles that are put out, as well as any podcasts like we did for the Golden Monarch one, which you can listen to ad-free right there. Also, we've got Indie Media Today, where all the clips from How Do We Miss That? Live stream alerts on Sundays for the live stream, letting you know what it's going to be with all the links, at least the original link, not this one. Of course, I'll have to add that later. And then again, you've got all the clips, original articles, guest appearances, stuff about the Indie Media Awards. It's all here, man. Just come hang out, Indie Media Today. It's free. Coffee.
They're free.
Let's look at that guy's funny hair again.
Yeah.
Estonian Minister of he's an Estonian MP. What? Bro, that's Captain Kangaroo hair. That's what that is. That's where I recognize it from. All right. So, all right.
It don't make no motherfucking sense.
All right. All right. We're going to get to boats. Sorry, children. But crashes apparently happen. My computer sucks. It rigs well most of the time, except when it doesn't, which is usually when I need it to work the most.
Fix that.
It would be nice.
Great.
It would be nice. It usually is happening when OBS is open, and it is allegedly a kernel
Don't think so.
It's kernel exception error.
When also not open, but
nope. It's happened every time when it's open. But anyway, yeah. So we will see you at boats. Support independent media, like this, like these people did. Cash App, $Indie News Network, ko-fi.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network, and INNnewsletter.com, which I just showed you. So support independent media because we need it more than ever. And now we may need to upgrade my computer too. So support independent media because we need it more than ever, fam. Waiting for you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we have a thing for that, don't we? Where's the fucking...
Bye, have a great time.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say?
Can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Why play civil if you won't listen to 50,000 dead? And now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. No, I play civil when all these dead won't make you listen.
What's more American than slaying your oppressors? What's more American than liberty or death first? God, I thought we were founded on abolishing the tyranny of those who would starve a village all to live empirically. And I regret that I have only one life to give for my cause now that I can see the cause so clearly. See, I want our leaders, regardless of party, to fear me.